Hello, this is Pastor Travis coming to you from my home office, which is a little different than how we normally do our Sunday services. But in the light of the coronavirus right now, this is the best way that we can do it for everybody to remain safe. So appreciate you joining. If there's anybody here who has not been a part of our church before, this is a video presentation from Dripping Spring Christian Church in Columbia, Missouri. My hope is today that everyone is encouraged and uplifted maybe during this difficult time. So I want to make sure that everybody recognizes that, okay? So as we keep going here, I do want to make sure that people understand the importance of us getting together. I know it's sometimes a bit of a challenge in the sense of not everybody really understanding what that means, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with that and we can get together and spend this time together. So I do want to talk about today what this looks like as far as everybody coming together and being one in the same mind and really participating in that same way. So thank you so much for being here today as we get started. I do want to make sure that everyone is seeing what I'm seeing, and so that's great. So right now is the time that I'm talking about, what's going on right now. That's right on our doorstep, so I want you to see that. You know, I do want to help us realize that in our scripture this morning from the 22nd chapter of Matthew, it says this: Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your heart and with all of your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and the greatest commandment, and the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself." Now, in context here, we've got Jesus who's being pressed by the Pharisees and the Sadducees as far as what are the right things to do, and they're really trying to put Jesus in a position where he's getting very difficult questions, and they want to test him to see how he would answer. And he responds in this way about the most important things to do here, and it's love the Lord, and in the same way, love your neighbor as yourself. Very important for us to understand that today. You know, Jesus commands us to love God and to love others. So today I want to talk about 3 ways to love your neighbors right now. And right now is specific to the situation that we're in the COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus. And so I want to shed some light on this, and let's really be thinking about the ways we can love our neighbors right now. In the situation that we're in, it's important to live in the right now. That's what's ahead of us, and so I want to make sure that we're tackling that, looking at it in the right ways. So the first one's with sacrifice. Right now is the best way to show others you care about them is through sacrifice. This really is personal sacrifice. When we love, we have to be willing to sacrifice and to give up our own desires for the greater good. This is happening right now. People are doing this, and it's actually bringing us together. I want us to know that it is bringing us together as a country, I believe. We're starting to recognize the importance of relationships and how we do those things. You know, I've been working from home now for a week, which has been very different for me. And, you know, my wife's been working from home and both my kids are here, which has been a blessing in itself. You know, the coronavirus is a very difficult thing. Lots and lots of people are suffering from it right now. But I do believe at some level it's bringing us together. It's unifying us to work together. For us all to make little sacrifices along the way to make sure that we are caring for one another. The other part of this is the main sacrifice is self-distancing, and so doing what it takes to be involved in situations where you separate yourself, even sometimes from your loved ones, because you care about them. That's a sacrifice. You don't want to run the risk, especially if you're younger, of infecting an older person around you. And so I get that. I see so many stories on the news these days about how families are gathering outside of nursing homes and those kind of things and really caring for and loving those people. But what a blessing to see that. I really want us to recognize that as a blessing. The other one that I want to talk about, the second one, is in faith. Right now, with faith that overcomes fear. Let's talk about that. You know, our daily response, even in difficult situations, is a witness to our faith. I'm so moved by all the workers on the front line right now. The people that are out there working hard, their willingness to serve in that way. It shows that they love their neighbors, you know, me and you. It really shows that they love, that they got a heart for what they're doing, especially in difficult situations. And so my question is, can we calm fears by living out our faith right now? Sure we can, and that's my call to action for you. I really want you to see that, to stand firm in your faith and know where our hope comes from. So the third one here is through His light. So we're talking about the three ways that we can love people right now, and what's going on in the context of loving our neighbor through His light. Right now, you have the opportunity to share the light of Christ. That definitely is an opportunity to go beyond what's expected, to grow in your relationship with your neighbors. What can you do so that others can experience the warmth of God's love in difficult times? I want to challenge us to be available for God to use right now, whatever He desires. May we have that mindset. Nothing's too small. And so it's funny how these little things can change over time, that people see things differently, but it happens. I had a member of our church reach out to me and wanted to help in any way possible to fill a need. He actually told me, he said, "Look, Travis, I got lots of toilet paper. And this might sound crazy, but if there's people that needs toilet paper, he's willing to give up his toilet paper." And so, that's saying something. While that sounds like such a weird thing, it's not in the light of what's going on. And so, there's people that are willing to put themselves out there to care for one another. So I appreciate that. We also can show others the love of Christ with sacrifice, standing strong in our faith, with God lighting the way. It's important that we recognize that today, that we show others the love of Christ. It's our sacrifice, standing strong in our faith, truly allowing God to light the way. What a blessing, what an opportunity that we have. I want us to remember that in God, it's our steadfast hope. That's really where we put every bit of our hope. Because we know from the 29th chapter, Jeremiah says this, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Scripture tells us plans to prosper you and not to harm you, but plans to give you hope and a future. I want you to hold on to that today, recognizing it's been a difficult time for everybody. The unknowns around the coronavirus, but we have a steadfast hope, a hope that does not change, a hope that will never change, a hope that lives with us in our hearts. May God have the glory today.